I have to say, what Bajaj has managed to do by resurrecting the Chetak brand name is nothing short of a marketing masterstroke. The Chetak was part of many families' lives. It was the first scooter that my family bought. And suffice to say, it has so many emotions attached that a number of Indians today have really fond memories of riding the Bajaj Chetak. Today, it's available in a new form, in an electric form, and we've been waiting and waiting for months to ride it. Today, we ride the new Bajaj Chetak Electric. The scooter is fully charged. Time for us to hit the road. It may be the marketing masterstroke of all time, but a boardroom decision can only influence the fate of a product to some extent. Beyond that is the product's attributes, the Chetak Electrics in this case, that could either make or break it. Now, forget the marketing spiel for a moment, because as steeped in history the Chetak's name may be, the new e-scooter's design is quite contemporary. This by far is one of the most gorgeous scooters to hit the Indian roads. If you look at the way the lines flow, it's almost poetic. There's such a natural flow to the whole design. Elements such as the LED DRL, foregrille on the front apron, and a single-piece rear section results in a design devoid of unsightly panel gaps. The tail lamps with the integrated dynamic turn indicators also look great. As beautiful as the stage section looks, you have to see that there are no panels on either side. This whole section here is one unit. The question though is, what if you happen to drop the scooter and dent the panel? That will be a big repair bill. But this little niggle aside, there are a few areas that show that there's been careful attention to detail. Bajaj's decision to employ a trailing link suspension at the front and a single-sided swing arm at the rear is a very clever one, because that puts this lovely alloy wheel on full display. The switchgear feels premium too, with a nicely damped operation. A single switch can be used to open the boot behind the front apron and under the seat. A full digital instrument cluster with Bluetooth connectivity runs off the list of features. But that's not all, because apart from being good looking and feature rich, the scooter's ergonomics are comfortable as well. Though this is an electric scooter, there are no compromises when it comes to ergonomics. The handlebar is nice and low, the seat is wide, and you feel like you're riding a regular or conventional scooter. The best part is, this seat here tapers towards the front, allowing you to keep your feet down quite easily. The Chetak is powered by an electric motor developed by Bosch, and it produces 16 Nm of torque. When you look at the spec sheet and you think 4 kWh peak power may not be enough, well, you are wrong. The scooter can actually keep up with everyday city traffic quite well. Especially when you're rolling from 20 to 40 or 50 kph, it will keep up with regular traffic. The best bit though is the kickdown mode. Now what the ICU does is that it senses that the throttle position is above 85%, and that's when it switches immediately from eco to sport mode. So if you want to climb a flyover, overtake someone in a jiffy, there is a surge of power sent to the rear wheel, and that's where you can really stick with traffic, overtake with ease, just like you would on a regular scooter. Bajaj has limited the top speed to 60 km/h in the interest of keeping the range figure as high as reasonably possible. While this wasn't an irritant on the roads we rode on today, a number of main roads in big cities like Mumbai and Delhi tend to host rather fast-moving traffic, and we wish the top speed was somewhere between 75 to 80 km/h. It's clear then that the Chetak leans towards a practical rather than performance side and should serve the role of a daily runabout quite well. That's what it's built for, and it makes no bones about its orientation. This is also apparent when you look at the claimed battery range. Now, though the power is sufficient, the battery life is pretty decent as well. 95 kilometers in eco mode, 85 kilometers in sport mode, and that's a decent enough cycle for somebody who's commuting to work and back on a daily basis. The IP67 rated battery takes 5 hours to charge, from 0 to 100%, and 80% will become available after 3.5 hours of plugging in the e-scooter. Bajaj will supply a home charger with the scooter, which is included in the price, and get a company technician to install it wherever you'd like. The charging cable connects to a 5 amp socket under the seat, and that can be shut closed while charging it, which makes it convenient to leave the scooter unattended. At present, however, there is no provision for fast charging. While this is the first time that Bajaj has introduced an electric scooter, its collective expertise in setting up the suspension of a two-wheeler shows in the way that Chetak rides.
I think one of the biggest advantages that Bajaj has is the years and years of developing scooters and motorcycles and tuning suspension. So in the case of the new electric Chetak, they've got the suspension setup pretty spot on. It is a trailing link suspension at the front and a single shock at the rear. And both these suspension units work pretty well to offer a really pliant ride. That said, when you go over a really sharp bump, you do feel that thud, but that's because of that suspension setup. That said, it is a very stable and confident scooter, whether you're riding in a straight line or around corners.
As desirable as the Chetak is, availability is a concern. The scooter is only available in Pune and Bangalore for now, and Bajaj will expand the network to other cities soon. Prices start at ₹1 lakh for the base Urbane trim and goes up to ₹1.15 lakhs ex-showroom for the premium variant. The additional money gets you a disc brake, premium seats and metallic colors.
I wish we had more time with the Chetak, but 2 hours I don't think is enough to make a conclusive statement or judgment about a scooter. So this is more of a first look or a first experience, and I have to say, first impressions are really positive and strong. On the whole, the scooter feels like any other regular scooter, and that's what really works for the Chetak, because someone who is graduating or moving from a petrol-powered scooter to an electric scooter will find it very easy to adapt to the Chetak Electric.
The first impression is that Chetak will make the transition from petrol to electric mobility feel natural and quite premium at that. The bigger question of what it's like to live with can only be answered once we get a scooter for a proper long-term test.